Welcome back to The Last Boot, the channel where football is more than a game. It is emotion. It is history. It is the human story behind every goal and every heartbreak. I am so glad you are here today. If you are new here, please subscribe and join the Last Boot family. We are growing every single day and I do not want you to miss a single story. Today we are talking about a boy who was told his body would never let him play football and who went on to become the greatest of all time. Lionel Messi. Let us find out. There are arguments in football that never end. The greatest stadium. The greatest club. The greatest era. But there is one argument that for millions of people around the world was settled a long time ago. The greatest footballer who ever lived. Lionel Andres Messi. He was born on the 24th of June 1987 in Rosario, Argentina. The third of 4 children in a working-class family. His father Jorge worked in a steel factory. His mother Celia cleaned houses. And from the moment little Leo could walk, he had a football at his feet. By the time he was 5 years old, the people of Rosario already knew his name. Not because anyone told them to pay attention, but because watching this small, quiet boy with the ball was simply impossible to ignore. He joined Newell's Old Boys Academy at 6. By 8 he was the best player any of his coaches had ever seen at that age. By 10 everything almost ended before it began. Messi was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. His body was not producing the hormones it needed to develop normally. Without treatment he would never grow to a normal height. And the treatment injections he needed every single night cost $900 a month. Money his family simply did not have. Newell's Old Boys could not fund it. Several Argentine clubs looked at the situation and walked away. And then across the ocean Barcelona came calling. A trial. A contract reportedly written on a paper napkin because there was nothing else available. And a 10-year-old boy from Rosario boarded a plane to Spain, leaving everything he had ever known to chase a dream that had nearly been taken from him before it even started. Barcelona paid for the injections. Leo grew. And what grew alongside him was something that would eventually redefine what human beings are capable of on a football pitch. At Barcelona's La Masia Academy, Messi was quiet. Shy. Homesick in a way that broke his mother's heart. But on the pitch he was electricity. He made his first team debut at 16. He scored his first league goal at 17. And by 19, playing alongside Ronaldinho, the player who became his closest friend and his greatest influence at the club, Messi was already being whispered about as something the world had never seen before. The numbers that followed are almost too extraordinary to process. 8 Ballon d'Or awards. The most in the history of the game. Over 800 career goals. 10 La Liga titles. 4 Champions League trophies. Countless Copa del Rey victories. The FIFA World Player of the Year more times than anyone in history. But the number that meant more than any of them came last. In 2022. In Qatar. The World Cup. For 15 years the one thing missing from Messi's story was the one thing he wanted more than anything else. The World Cup. The trophy Argentina had not won since 1986, since the days of the man Messi was always compared to. Maradona. The 2022 final against France was one of the greatest football matches ever played. Argentina led 2-0. France equalized. It went to extra time. France scored again. Argentina equalized again. Penalties. And Messi, 35 years old, in what many believed would be his last World Cup, stepped up. Calm. Certain and inevitable. He scored. Argentina won. And Messi fell to the ground and wept in a way that told you everything about what that moment cost him. Every year of doubt. Every comparison to Maradona. Every near miss. Every heartbreak. All of it released in one moment on a pitch in Qatar. He was not just a footballer lifting a trophy. He was a boy from Rosario who had been told his body was not enough, proving to the entire world that he was more than enough. That he was everything. Lionel Messi. The little magician. The greatest footballer who ever lived. Not because of the goals. Not because of the trophies. But because of the way he played. With his head down and his feet dancing, and something in his movement that made you feel every single time that you were watching something that would never come again. And you were right. There will never be another one. That is it for today's story on The Last Boot. If this video moved you, please give it a big thumbs up. Share this with every football fan you know. Hit subscribe and join the Last Boot family. See you in the next video. Until then, keep the passion alive. You are a true fan.